Sunday. It's beautiful outside and my son's asleep, so I'm going to take this as an opportunity to put together my new hitch mount bike rack from 1UP. Let's check it out. So this is the bike rack from 1UP. If you're wondering why there's two here, this here is the main bike rack. It's the Super Duty. We got this because we have e-bikes and they're a little bit heavier. This one here, this is the add-on. So we have two e-bikes, so that's why we got the add-on. So the rack comes pretty much assembled. Not a lot of assembly to it, which is nice for someone trying to get this done while your almost 2-year-old is sleeping. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the Add-A-Bike while it's off the truck. I'm just gonna tilt it up. There's two holes here and this guy here. Both of these plastic caps come out, and then it actually comes with these tamper-proof, these guys right here. So those will thread in, and then you can just see here, you get the keyholes from the Add-A-Bike. And these are the keyholes on the Add-A-Bike. So these guys kind of honed out, so this will slide on and slide over, and then you tighten it down. Pretty simple design. These blue levers lock down, and that's what keeps the rack from folding forward. So it actually stores really nice, just the way it came out of the box. And then these will come down and hold the wheels in place. Simple design, but very well made. Heavy duty metal. Not a light bike rack, but I have no problems taking this four-wheeling. So it has its own lock. This is my hitch receiver lock. It has its own, so we'll use that one. And this one's a little bit thinner than the one I have, so you can see the difference there. So we're gonna use the one that came with the bike rack. Go ahead and slide this in, and then we pull that all the way back. It's still good to go. So we're still 2 inches in, which is great. Instructions, it says that this guy has to be at least 2 inches from the end of the receiver in. So my pin is 2 1/4. So this guy here, if we went all the way back, you know, even if we went all the way back, that's 2 1/4. I think we'd be pretty good. Once we put the four-wheel camper on there, we're going to want to have this out as far as we can. And then the last step is just to tighten this guy down. And this thing is awesome. This keeps it from moving around, so it's super stable in there. That's a great design. Then adjusting it to bring it down so the bikes get on there, it's this little bar here. Lift up. and it goes into loading position, which is pretty sweet. They have another one called that's called extra clearance. Extra clearance, traveling with no bikes but a large bumper or tire blocks. Okay, read the instruction manuals, it usually helps. The other thing cool is it comes all the way down like that. Now you can actually get in the tailgate, which is pretty sweet, even with the bikes on. Let's test it. Well, it looks pretty good. A couple things I'm not crazy about. My wife's bike has a fender, and you can see in order to really secure it, I have to smash the fender and I have to bend in the fender mounts. Not a great idea. I'll try to figure out a solution for that. I might actually move this down to the lower mounts here so it hits the wheel here, and we'll see how stable that is. One thing, don't forget, you want to make sure you stagger the bikes so one faces one faces the other way. And if you're doing e-bikes, make sure you have your batteries in them, because you don't want to be traveling and having your contacts getting all the road debris and stuff in them. So a little bit of numbers. Frey, I weighed with the battery on, it is 68 pounds. My wife's bike, Ride One Up, it is 60 pounds, both of them with the batteries on. So these racks are rated, I think, for 70 or 80. I think it's 80. The Super Duties are pretty strong. Oh yeah. Let's check out and see if the tailgate's open. Yep. Okay, this is my beef with a hitch mount bike rack. You can hardly see turn signals. You can hardly see reverse lights. You can hardly see license plate. That one I'm less concerned about. But really, from a safety standpoint, like, look at that. Pretty much rear brake gone. So that's the biggest problem with hitch mount bike racks, is you lose your turn signals, brake lights, and you lose your tail light. This is what I mean by losing your turn signals. I've got my hazards on. Like, look. I mean, it's daylight, so I know it's kind of obvious that there's not a lot of light, but I mean, you lose a lot. We're gonna try to fix that. One Up actually sells a brake light that plugs into your trailer connection if you have one, which is a great idea, works well, but it's mounted down here, which is really low. That's not great visibility, and I'm a safety nut. No, I'm not, but I want to build something better. All right, I talked about how One Up has a solution to the brake light and the license plate. So let me pull that up and I'll show you what theirs is. It's a good solution, but it isn't the perfect solution, because I just want something to do. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Here we go. So this is the LED light bar plate holder 2.0. So this is their second version apparently. Maybe my version will be 3.0, huh? Little plug. By the way, this isn't sponsored. I had to buy this rack. So if you want to buy my idea One Up, I will sell it to you. Anyways, this is the light bar. You can see again, it's pretty well designed. It's a brake light tail light combo. During signaling and braking. So I don't know if it's a tail light as well. But it's pretty well simplistic and everything, which I like. Just goes right into your plug, and it does mount vertically. So one thing I noticed when even when I had the bikes off, if I put the rack up, license plate's gone. So again, that's kind of an issue, only when you get pulled over. The turn signals and taillights and stuff like that is what I'm most worried about, and when the bikes are on, they get blocked. So I wanted to look and see, let's see what the tail light height requirements. So look at that, DOT. both on the same level between 15 and 72. Okay, so it is in the requirements, but let's look at the footnotes. Required lighting devices, vehicles. All right, so footnotes 5 and 11. Footnote 5, footnote 11. So when the tractor headlamps are illuminated, tail lamps need to be illuminated. Good thing I'm driving a tractor. So this is from govinfo.gov. It's a .gov website, which is good. U.S. Government Publishing Office, the GPO. And let's go to About. I think we can trust this source. So the headlamp, or the tail lamps, excuse me, are up to regulation. So they're between 15 and 72, but they're not as far apart as possible. We're going to have to figure out a solution to this problem, and it's going to be 3D printed. It's going to be wired up. It's a fun go-to. So stay tuned. The bell, the subscribe, the like, whatever you want to do. Follow me on Twitter. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll figure out a solution to the problem. So the bikes are on. They are not secured to the rack, so you could lock them to the rack, and you could put like a lock pin through there. I think One Up actually sells it. And you could also just use a regular bike lock. You could lock them together. E-bikes would be a pain in the butt to steal, although they might be worth it. But the rack does lock to the truck, which is pretty nice. You can see here, this gets tightened down. Again, that's what takes that momentum or the movement out, the play and the receiver, so it's nice and stable. And then there's also the actual locked pin, hitch pin. This guy here, this just tightens down so you can't pull this bar and release it from its notches. Made in Wisconsin, you know, cheese, beer. Anyways, it's a great rack.